Greetings. Welcome to the Hurricane Gardening Show. There's no lava left. Pele has stopped producing, and so we can't have a lava and garden show, but we seem to have plenty of hurricanes moving by the island this year. There's at least two so far. Hector, well, where the heck was Hector? Nothing much happened out of him. This one's called Lane, L-A-N-E. That's a kind of an odd name for a hurricane, but, you know. And so Lane appears that it wants to be a greater pain than Hector was. So Lane could be a pain for us here. The cone of uncertainty, rather, on this one is pretty wide because the different computer models show Lane as taking various course, and all of them miss the Big Island as usual. This is very, very typical. We're a gigantic seamount with huge upwelling of cold water offshore, and to say we're hurricane proof would be a real mistake, but it is pretty hard for hurricanes to make landfall here as hurricanes. They've done it, but they've been tropical storms by the time they got onto the land here in Hawaii. But there are paths showing that either Maui or Oahu could really get slammed point on, because the hurricane will be probably a category 3 or 4 as it moves into our waters. So looks like we got some hurricane gardening coming up here real soon. Probably Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, a couple days from now, we'll be expecting to see Lane here entering our waters. We hope Lane does not create too much pain, right? Yeah, so the volcanoes are sleeping. Nothing is happening right now. Air is clearing. I'm still waiting for them to fix the roads so I can go down and try that new black sand beach over there at the end of Pohoiki, where the Isaac Hawley County Park is at. They got one fine, brand new black sand beach, so not everything happens as a disaster. In regards to that too, I was just conversing with my good buddy Jim, whose house is under 20 or 30 feet of lava down in Leilani Estates, and I guess he finally got somewhere with Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's is going to pay up for a lot of his property damage, lost plants, stuff that was inside, expenses that were put down, you know, as far as being able to develop the property and so on. So they gave him a pretty good size envelope if he can fill it with, you know, hopefully Jim has kept all of his receipts. I got a request from him this morning to do assessment on the value of the lost plants in the landscape, which frankly most of them aren't worth much. Installation, preparation, and all that is usually well worth more than the plants are. So, but it's looking good, and so if Jim gets some money in his hand, we can expect him to start putting up a new home somewhere in a better place around the island. And well, I mean, I'll have a drummer. I'm looking forward to that one. So we're sitting here waiting on Lane, but in the meantime, I was mowing the coffee this morning and did a pretty good job of it. That's a lot of work. I need to get myself a new and more powerful and easier to handle mower for this process, and set the coffee up so it's a little easier to mow. I used to grow it with weed block underneath, but we have removed that recently, and now I'm growing weeds beneath the coffee. Makes for good compost. We get lots and lots of organic matter out of it, so that's a pretty good system. I have corn and snap beans that are up in the nursery and ready to go out here in the garden. It's a beautiful day today, and I could really see going out there and starting to put the stuff in, but after mowing the coffee, I've had enough. If there's anybody out there who wants to help Bill plant his corn and beans, come on down, you know. I'm always in need of help. In fact, if there's anybody out there who wants to learn about planting and growing their own pineapples. Right now is the time where we'll be putting in hundreds of pineapples, so I'm in the midst of it. You can contact me, via the channel here if you're interested in that. I'll be doing some classes, and they're free. I'll just be trading some of your labor for any information. So anybody wants to know about growing pineapples in Hawaii, contact me and come on down, okay, because we have plenty of them to plant. Otherwise, the pineapple crop is amazing this year. We have some huge fruit, and they're absolutely delicious. Oh, they're good. I just went to the post office with an armload full of pineapples and left with no pineapples. The postal workers bought all my pineapples from me. Let me show you what I got here. Right. Look at these. Just look at these. They're gorgeous. This one right here is absolutely humongous. Yeah, I haven't put them on a scale yet, but I'm telling you what, this is breaking my wrists holding these babies up. So they are whoppers. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, and absolutely delicious. These pineapples are so good. If you haven't had them, I really truly believe that our organic Mountain View grown pineapples are some of the best on the island. That's my belief on it. I know I haven't had any that were much better, and so if there's anyone out there watching the video here on the island and they are desperately craving some white pineapples, come on down here in Mountain View. We got them. All right, I got lots and lots of pineapples. I also have lots and lots of nursery stock too, if anybody needs plants. And just come on down and mention you heard it on the Green Garden Guys channel on YouTube. And if you're buying pineapples, I'll give you a free 3.5-inch plant. If you're buying nursery stock, I'll give you a free plant. Okay? And so we got free plant giveaway at the Green Garden Guys place this week. Anybody who mentions saw it on YouTube. Yep, we got plenty of plants here for you. I've got some real nice looking loquats there on the end. I've got the ice cream bean, that special stubby, delicious one that I grow here. Got some real nice non-GMO solo papayas. Kona coffee, achachas. I have abiu too at the moment. And then fruiting hibiscus, the rosal. There's my jaboticabas over here, but I also have a whole lot of the rare varieties that Joe brought in. Over here we got Chico sapote, I got lemon drop mangosteens, we got chocolate sapote, I got star fruits, sweet basil, gramachama, the Brazilian cherry, the Suriname cherry, allspice trees, Rollinias, ornamental pink fruited pineapples, lilikoi, soursop, cacao is flesh and nice. Anybody needs mint or oregano or poha berries or lemongrass, dragon fruits. I even got rambutan seedlings here. We got dwarf Katura coffee. Get some brand new tree tomatoes from New Zealand that are extremely sweet, not like the old sour ones they used to grow. I got gallon abiu plants, gallon achacha plants. Got some really jumbo Rollinias right here. I got all kind of stuff. Come on down. You pick up a couple of plants and I'll go ahead and give you a free one. Well, here you can see the coffee has been neatly mowed. The mulch produced by mowing is ridiculous. It works out pretty well with the coffee trees, but man, I tell you, I'm going to be taking the pineapples out from between these trees because look at the poor things. They're buried. They're just buried in the mulch. It's going to take a 6-inch rainfall to knock that back down. Lots of good organic matter though. All free, just weeds. Weeds, and I've also been growing Crotalaria sun hemp out here, and this time around I mowed all the old plants. I'll get a growth spurt on some of the dragon fruit here. Some of the younger plants only bloomed a little bit, just a bit of flowering. Instead, they produced new growth. Peanut planting is up 100%. This should be a pretty nice crop. The crop of Bishop's Cap peppers is remarkable this year. It's just beautiful. I'll probably be making jardinera out of these guys. I have so many. My fly trap is working really well. We have really gathered a lot of Chinese fruit fly in there. Little nasty things. Obviously it's working because these peppers would be full of maggots if it wasn't. And so I have had some people warn me that, oh, they used traps and it drew more flies in than existed. Well, I'm sure the lure draws extra flies, but the extra flies seem to end up in the bottles, not in the peppers. So I guess I disagree with that viewpoint. Over here, all this supreme messiness was corn 2 years back. Since then, I've been resting it in perennial peanut, alfalfa, and weeds, and in sunhemp, crotalaria. So maybe tomorrow, if Hurricane Lane doesn't become a pain, I'm going to go ahead and mow all of this down and plant a crop of no-till sweet corn right into the alfalfa and the peanuts. The pepperoncini crop is coming along quite nicely. This Italian sweet pepper is very susceptible to the flies, and so if the traps weren't doing their work, these would be a mess, and they're good. So cherry tomatoes looking pretty good too. So there's the walk around. I'm feeling good today, and in regards to my health and how I feel, I have been eating the fresh turmeric in my eggs every morning with black pepper lately, and then with the white pineapple season coming in, the pineapples contain a chemical called bromelain, which is also a very powerful anti-inflammatory. And so between the turmeric and the white pineapples, or the bromelain, I am feeling no pain. So that's a good thing, huh? That's the way I like it. I don't like pills, I don't like taking supplements, blah, 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 blah. If it's in my diet, you know. I have also been getting some comments from the viewers and subscriptions because people like the nature of this talk. It's not sensational. I'm trying to tell the truth most of the time, you know, trying to get things accurate. And well, you know how it is. You turn on the nightly news and some woman driver got machine gunned from her seat, you know, and all this. And well, that isn't what my channel's all about. We're more about down-to-earth subjects here and real things. I mean, this is real talk. It's pretty straight talk here, and I know that. Part of my business has always been to take the bunk out of stuff. When I ran nurseries in California and taught classes or did customer service, there were people carrying in some of the darndest ideas that go around, you know, and that was my job. Get it straight. I'm still doing it. That's what this video is all about. You know, we start doing the lava show here because everybody's afraid the world was ending and everybody was dead in Hawaii. So, you know, I went and competed with the CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox, you know, to try to put a little bit of normality to their spin, because it really has been rather normal. And of course, now that it's over, we don't have too much around here that's sensational, just beautiful. But I do believe that I'm going to focus on trying to deliver straight talk, honest messages, because it does seem that with the media, it's either somewhat sensationalized or misrepresented, or of course everything always has a slant, and that's normal. That's nothing wrong with that. You know, some media outlets are going to be on the right side, others are going to be on the left side, some going to try to be in the middle, and they're all going to try to be good to the people that sell soap on their channels. And their point is, you know, sponsorship. And so if the sponsor doesn't like it, you won't hear it. So, you know, so you get spin coming that way on everything. These days, coming out of the federal government, the propaganda that we hear, it isn't even propaganda anymore. It used to be. Now it's mostly out and out lies, distortions, you know, accusations. Oh, for God's sake, you know, that gets under my skin. It's one reason I'm here in front of the camera, because I don't blame anybody for my situation. Everything I put myself through and everything about my life, it's my fault. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to be here. I didn't have to say that. I didn't have to do this, that, or the other thing. It is not somebody else's fault. Now, there are people out there who I really wish, you know, would jump off the edge of the Grand Canyon, because it's kind of a pain. But again, what they have to say doesn't affect me, and it's not my fault. So, you know, this whole business where we got a character in the White House that acts like an infant by pointing fingers at everybody that disagrees with him. You know, this is pathetic. It's not the American way. It's not even good manners. It's not even good psychology, because it's always your fault, folks. Yeah, so, you know, they can't even let the president testify on his own behalf, because the guy doesn't have any idea, I don't think, what is real and what isn't real, what's a lie, what's not a lie, because there's not hardly anything comes out of his mouth that is actually accurate. And so when you get this down, you know, when he's tweeting, well, you know, you say whatever you want to, even though it's embarrassing because he's the president. But you get in front of a court, you get in front of an examiner, and you say something under oath, all of a sudden the truth matters. And the truth has always mattered. The fact that the truth does not matter to our president or to his attorney, Giuliani, that's kind of irrelevant. It really is. Because life's going to go on after the Trumpster. And truth will matter. It will matter. I mean, I've based my life on it, trying to come up with accurate information, trying never to lie. And, you know, this is an excellent example of why people shouldn't be lying. Because if he went in front of that hearing examiner and he starts perjuring himself because he didn't know the difference between what a lie and what isn't, being a liar is too much work. I'm a lazy man. I've never been a criminal, and I will never be a liar, because you have to cover your butt all the time. Any time you get involved in telling a lie, well, then you got to remember, well, now, what did I say, you know? Because the next time you say something different, now why this character, this Trumpster, still has credibility with some people is beyond me, because it doesn't take but a fool to figure out that most of what comes out of his mouth is absolute BS, and that he can't even tell the difference. Unfortunately, what happens is there's a lot of really important things happening to our country behind the scene, mostly in deconstruction of stuff, and it's being covered up by his affairs with porn stars, you know, and all this other, his tweet bull stuff. Anyway, so I get people coming to me on my channel and saying, "Bill for president." Well, thank you. I mean, really, I appreciate that. It's and historically, saying something like that has always been an honor in our culture, has been. Now, as for me, as a person, I'm not a person that likes power or control, okay? I'm not interested in it. I'd have started a church years ago if I wanted that kind of thing, but, you know, I'm not a fool, nor am I a martyr, nor do I have an interest in acquiring power. And so, you know, being a president was never on my agenda, because it's just not the kind of work I like to do. On the other hand, like I said, it's always been a compliment. You know, ladies would think, "Oh, my son will grow up to be the president," you know, or, you know, folks have said, "Bill for president." Well, there is going to come a time when that's going to be an insult after this administration, because right now he's degraded the image of the office lower than anybody. I mean, even Richard Nixon left the office in a more honorable condition. Here, this, basically a pathological liar in the White House who doesn't know the difference between a lie and truth, has no respect for anybody, attacks everybody that disagrees with him. Just because people don't agree with your viewpoint doesn't mean they're your enemy. This guy attacks everybody, our allies. There's only 3 people so far. There have only been 3 people, not counting his current attorney, that he hasn't attacked. Himself, his wife, and Vladimir Putin. That's important. He has had far worse things to say about members of his own party, members of Congress that oppose him, and about judges in our country. Far worse things to say than about Putin. He's an amateur. He has no idea what he's gotten himself into over here, but somebody else is using him, because a lot of this stuff is just nuts. Deregulation of coal. We're not going back to coal. The future is in other forms of energy, clean energy, and that's where the future of our economy is too. Because even if you wanted to export coal to China or someplace, China's choking in their own smog. They need to deal with these problems. We were dealing with these problems until this yo-yo got in and thought that we didn't have any problems anymore. It just goes to show you how little the man actually knows. He's an amateur. He claims to have been through school, but I do believe his daddy paid his way through, because I'm not picking up any indications whatsoever that this is a very learned man. I consider my education to be considerably greater. Aside from the fact that anybody that spends their whole life doing nothing but trying to make more money, that's kind of a sad character anyway. So, anywho, thanks a lot. Currently, that's still a compliment when you say Bill for president. It won't be pretty soon, though, so watch that. Pretty soon, that's going to be harassment if you keep saying that. Otherwise, you all have a wonderful day. It's a fabulous day for gardening here now. I should be planting the corn this minute before the hurricane gets here, but I'm going to wait for the hurricane, So, aloha. Y'all have a wonderful day in the garden. And don't forget to hang loose.